Hello and welcome to Pitt Street Research. My name is Stuart Roberts and I'm one of the co-founders of our firm. And joining me from Sydney on the morning of Friday, the 25th of July, 2025 is Mr. Andrew Bald, who's the Managing Director of X State Resources, ASX XST. Andrew, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Stuart.
Andrew, you're in the process of relisting X State, currently suspended at the moment, with a very, very interesting oil and gas transaction. You're about to acquire 51% of the Diona gas prospect in the Surat Bowen, southern Queensland. There's a lot of things to like about this transaction. You're close to the Wallumbilla hub for gas coming into the East Coast gas market. And you're sitting on a prospective resource of 12 and a half BCF, of which half is yours by virtue of the transaction that you're doing. Talk to us about what you like about Diona.
Well, just to clarify, that 12.5 BCF is on this particular target, which is one of a number of targets that we've got on the block. So there are other prospects that we are working up. And so let me just expand on that point. As part of the transaction, we paid a $250,000 fee to Elixir, and that fee is to be used to reprocess 2D seismic, and that
Right.
block is covered by 2D seismic. So the reason we like this project is that it's a shallow well, it's cheap, it's
Shallow. We're
quick.
talking only 2,000 meters to get to the
That,
pay zones.
that's right, 2,300 meters till we get to the top of the Tinawon. And then there are two other areas after, sorry, to the top of the showgrounds. And then there are two other targets underneath that, being the Tinawon and the Wallabella. And the total depth is 2,600 meters. So this well will only take 7 to 10 days to drill. And each of those formations are proven hydrocarbon bearing formations in this area. And what we're looking for is a structural trap. And that's what we believe the Diona prospect is a structural trap over these hydrocarbon zones or hydrocarbon bearing rocks and formations.
Right. When I heard those magical words, four-way dip closure, I thought, wow, this is old school. We're not having to go into any of this unconventional stuff.
That's right. This is a pure vertical, and that's one of the other joys of this because that's what impacts the cost, of course. So our well is only going to cost us 2.7 million, and as you say, it's a conventional four-way structure, four-way trap, and it's a walk-up target for us.
Right. Not far away from you is the Silver Springs gas plant. So you're in a pretty gas-rich area. What prompted Elixir to do this deal with you?
Sure. The reason Elixir did the deal was that there are three blocks within this tenement, ATP 2077. There's block A, B, and there's the Diona prospect. Blocks A and B host the Kayanga coals, and they are deeper targets starting at 4,500 meters. And those wells cost between 10 and $15 million to drill with a $5 million completion cost. So they are $15 to $20 well commitments. The Diona prospect is shallow and is a different formation. So just coming back to the blocks A and B, the Kayanga formations, that's part of the Taroom Trough. The Diona prospect adds nothing to Elixir's resource base. So by drilling it, they don't go and add any value to their existing resource. It's a separate resource. By drilling it, however, Elixir gets to meet its 5-year work commitments on the block, and it gets 100% equity in blocks A and B. And we get 51% of the Diona block. So summarizing that, by farming out the well to us, they get to capture 100% of the deeper Taroom Trough project for nothing.
Well, sounds like everyone's a winner on this one.
Yeah,
You're raising some capital at the moment with the intention of drilling that very rapid well into the Diona prospect. Once that capital raised, you'll be relisted next month with this project as your flagship.
that's correct. So all going well, we have a target relisting date of the 13th of August, and we have rigs available. We actually have two rigs available to us now. We have drilling contracts, and we will be signing that drilling contract as soon as we close this capital raise, and then we'll be mobilizing that drilling rig ready to start drilling as soon as the shares start listing. We
Right.
could actually start drilling before the shares are relisted, but there's no value in that for the shareholders. So we will get relisted, start drilling, and the news flow starts from there.
Right. It's winter, obviously here in Australia. A bit cold in most of the capitals, and when that happens, gas prices go up. I imagine that the traded price of gas going through Wallumbilla is very commercial for you right now.
That's exactly right, Stuart. So, a couple of points on that one. Whilst we quote $13 an MCF or a gigajoule for gas, it has been trading between 13 and 14, and in the last month it traded as high as 17. Now, we don't expect to capture that full 100%, of course, because there will be costs associated with delivering the gas into the pipeline. However, on that point, we approached the owners of the pipeline to talk about tying into the pipeline, and their response to us was, "Well, we want to buy your gas." So that that delivers. In other words, we believe that we will not have to go through the marketing process ourselves, and there is the potential that we would sell that gas at the wellhead. More than likely, we'll be selling it at the tie-in point, which is a kilometre away from our existing proposed well site. Now, coming back to that, you talked at the beginning about 12.5 BCF of gas being the target. Well, we simplistically value that. If you use a $10 net, $10 per MCF net gas price, that target would be worth $125 million, $64 million net to Xstate.
Right. Times are good. Particularly the pressing need for gas on the East Coast. You're part of the solution in that regard. So that's another good reason to take a look. What's interesting to me, you've alluded to other targets on ATP 2077. How rapidly can we go and take a look at those other targets after the initial well at Diona?
Yes, it's a good question because um, we mentioned there are three formations. There's the showgrounds, the Tinnawan, and the Wallabella. We will drill all the way through to the Wallabella and run tests, wireline logs and tests, and we will know if there are hydrocarbons present in all three formations. We understand that the highest probability of success is in the showgrounds, and if the showgrounds prove to be productive, we will pull back to the upper showgrounds formation case and put that onto production. If the test demonstrates that there are high hydrocarbons and commercial flow rates in the Wallabella and the Tinnawan underneath, then we will be permitting a second well straight away. And we believe that will take between 3 and 6 months to permit, and we could be drilling 6 months thereafter. In the meantime, we have all this other seismic data that is being reprocessed by Down Under Geophysics, or the ASX listed company with the code DUG. And that $250,000 deposit that I mentioned earlier is being used to reprocess and improve that 2D seismic that has been shot previously by other companies, including AGL and Mosaic. And on that, if I may, one of the other key takeaways about this Diona target is that we know that AGL knew the target was there. And if we were to read the Elixir announcement, they will tell you that the Wallumbilla pipeline that runs from the Wagamba gas field through to Silver Springs was diverted by AGL to get close to this structure. So AGL was always going to drill this, but at $2 and $3 a gigajoule of gas, it's not commercial. But at $13 a gigajoule, this is a definitively commercial project that needs to be drilled.
Their loss, your gain. Andrew, for investors who don't know you, tell us a bit about yourself and your background up till now.
Well, thanks, Stuart. My background is predominantly corporate finance. I've been doing this for about 20 years and helping ASX listed companies get listed or raise capital and providing advice and structuring support. I ran a small my first foray into oil and gas was in 2013 when I ran a small oil and gas explorer called Burleson Energy. And since then, I've done a number of projects in the US and I've supported a number of companies here in Australia with projects both in Australia and overseas. So we've done deals in Austria, Canada, USA, Australia, Uruguay, other countries.
Right.
So
And on that point, I understand there's still a few producing gas fields in California that remain in the Xstate portfolio. Is that right?
that's right. The regrettable situation there is that those gas fields are stranded. So despite the fact that gas is lucrative in California, the operator of those wells literally can't tie into the pipeline, so we can't get any production from them. So we dismiss those assets as being having negligible value.
Right. Well, sounds like you've got a heck of a lot of upside with the new assets that are coming in. Andrew Wald, good luck in terms of this capital raising and the prospective relisting middle of August 2025, and keep up the good work.
Thanks very much, Stuart.
Thanks for joining Pitt Street Research.